What's up, y'all? It's your girl. What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Sakina, and I'm back with another review. This is my review for Love Island USA. This is Season 8, Episode 27. Now, I actually did notes for this on the 4th. I woke up and got straight to it. But I end up not filming it on that day because I had errands to run and then the festivities started and all this stuff. And then I was going to film it yesterday too. But I came to my dad's house after running around again and I had to set up my work equipment and all this stuff. So about the time that I was getting ready to film, I actually did start filming and it was 11 o'clock at night and I was just totally drained and it wasn't even, I just wasn't feeling it. Like I literally filmed 20 minutes worth of content and I was just like, you know what, let's just do this tomorrow. I am behind obviously, but I'm not too behind. So I'm going to try to put out 2 videos today. And of course, after I get off work, I have other things to do. That's what I'm saying. Every time I come to Ohio, I literally have shit to do. Always. Anyway, let's get into it because, again, we got stuff to do. So the episode picks up after Anaya and Casey had their second conversation. And so we see Anaya, Trinity, and Melanie having a talk. She said that her and Casey had a good conversation. He owned up to everything. And that was the most genuine she's ever saw him. I said, now, that's crazy to say because do you feel like he was faking it all those other times? I don't know. Anyway, she says she doesn't wish any ill on him and he does deserve to be happy. So Trinity says he does deserve to be happy as much as she hates to say it right now. Trinity, shut the fuck up. Like, literally, shut up. Like, again, I don't understand the beef. Moving on, Anaya is talking about her and Carl's sexual chemistry. Where's the sexual chemistry? Because I don't see it. She was like, yeah, we be making out and all this. Girl, I'm not buying it, Anaya. Quit trying to sell this shit to us. Literally, it's so annoying. And so they asked about Melanie's conversation with Sincere because remember, they're fresh off of their conversation of her threatening to stop talking to him. And she thinks that their conversations are just words. Like, it really doesn't mean anything to her. She likes him, but then at the same time, she feels foolish for liking him. So she's conflicted. And Trinity is like, you don't want to sleep in the bed with him with just a pillow in between? For what? Like, for what? For what? What is the point? Like, why are they promoting this? That's the thing that's really starting to piss me off, and I'm just so confused. Like, I don't understand why they're even considering her trying to warm up to him, especially when it's fresh off of movie night. Because remember, Trinity, Anaya was all kind of stupid bitches if she didn't explore Casa because Casey played in her face too many times. But when it comes down to y'all literally seeing evidence and footage of Sincere playing in Melanie's face, y'all want her to sleep in the bed with him. Y'all want her to, like, take him back, not give him so much of a hard time. I'm confused. So they said at the end of the day, Melanie, you know exactly what you want to do. And Trinity tells her to follow her heart. Y'all are setting her up for failure. And Melanie, you're setting yourself up for failure too. It's annoying to watch. We see Casey, Corbin, and Sincere having a conversation. And Sincere notices that Casey just seems a whole lot of relief. Like, there's some weight off of his shoulder after the conversation that he had with Anaya. And he said, yeah, she has more understanding. And Casey ultimately felt like shit. And Sincere was like, yeah, that's how she wanted you to feel. She definitely did. But Casey was like, had he been transparent about how he felt about things would have went totally different. And he's looking at Melanie and Sincere's issues, and he feels like this is something that Sincere has to overcome. Again, they are fresh off of the conversation of Melanie saying that she feels like he needs to lose her X, Y, and Z. And Sincere just does not seem like he's fazed by it at all. Even when they were having the conversation, remember in my last review, I was telling y'all about body language and how Casey wasn't looking at Anaya and all of that. Sincere did not seem that pressed about him potentially losing Mel. Like, his body language just was not, it didn't give a fuck to me. So Sincere says he does feel shameful after movie night and watching the footage. He was like, damn, that's how it really looked. Don't piss me off. He said he got to clean up his mess And Casey told him, it's all about your actions. Yeah, stop talking, stop moving your motherfucking mouth, and actually start putting some action behind it. Honestly, I don't even care if he puts action behind it because I feel like he ain't gonna do shit anyway. So Carl and Amora have a conversation, and it really wasn't much to it. It was just Amora saying that she values friendships more than romantic connections sometimes. And I can understand where she's coming from, because as a person who hasn't really dated too much, I do place more value into my friendships because that's where all of my energy really goes to. And so Caleb talks to Trinity and Bryce about his issues that he has with Jaden. He said that Jaden has not spoken to him since they've been back to the villa. And I feel like that is something that we did not notice, but once you think about it, we have not seen a lot of one-on-one conversations between the two of them. So Jaden overhears him talking to them, and she was like, yeah, you can come over here and chat with me instead of talking to other people. So she goes and pulls him for a chat. And we see Kenzie talking to somebody about how Caleb jumps to conclusions. And she used the example of how he thought that her and Corbin was kissing. Hey, Kenzie, I'm going to need you to shut up, because you helped paint a vivid picture for one to assume that y'all was kissing, because you was cuddled up with that man. Y'all's faces was down. Like, yeah, one could assume that y'all probably did kiss. So don't even try to go there with that, because again, you helped create the illusion. Caleb and Jaden, they end up having a conversation, and she was very argumentative, like very raw with him. And it's like, girl, I'm gonna need you to calm down. She said she doesn't understand why he's taking advice and conversation to other people when he should be talking to her directly. And he was like, you're not really affectionate to him. He told Bryce and Trinity that she doesn't talk about life outside the villa. She doesn't give him any compliments. Like, she doesn't give him anything. So then Jaden is like, okay, what about the conversation? She said she wants to be in a connection, not talk about a connection. And she said, what connection is there to have if we can't even talk about random stuff? She wants more out of their communication. Yes, but it takes two to conversate. To communicate. It takes two to communicate. So it's like, at the end of the day, Jaden, you are wanting something out of him. It's okay for you to initiate those conversations and also pick up how he reacts to you. Like, if he's interested in getting to know you, he should be following up with the same questions, trying to pique your interest and see what's going on. So I feel like it's both of them that needs to do work. So everybody's preparing for the end of the night. And Melanie is asking Corbin if he thinks she should sleep in the bed with Sincere. Shut the fuck up. You already know what you want to do. So, like, stop trying to seek advice from other people when you know damn well that you want to do that. And Corbin is like, that's not even my decision to make. So he's staying out of it. We see Caleb talking to the guys, and he's basically saying that he's not going to tell Jaden his deepest, darkest secrets if he's unsure that she even likes him, which I understand. Like, I don't want to give a person too much too soon, especially when I really don't even know where the vibes are between us. Gal and Jen, they're both talking to separate parties, and they feel mutual on, dating the connection. So then Anaya's talking to Melanie. She was like, I know that you're going to forgive Sincere in bed. Like, I already know you. And Anaya's like, I'm rooting for y'all and all this shit. Like, I don't know why it just gives so fake and phony when Anaya is trying to root for Sincere and Melanie. Because why? Like, so Melanie gets in bed with him, and she was flirting with him low-key. I'm like, girl, you're just extremely forgiving, and it's annoying. So the next day, Sincere plans a breakfast date, and I'm like, too late. Too damn late. You know why? Because Corey beat you to it. So it doesn't have the same wow factor as you thought it would, because been there, done that, bitch. You should have already did it. So she asked him when he's having a bad day, what he likes to do, and blah, blah, blah. And she said she's good at Connect Four and planning trips. I really don't even care, but Melanie said in her confessional that this is her first romantic date with him, and she needs more days like this with him, because one day is just not enough. And Sincere is telling her, I'll do anything for you. This is what you deserve. I know this isn't going to fix anything, but I'm here. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't. Moving on. Jaden and Caleb, another couple that I don't give a fuck about. She apologizes. He apologizes. She says she didn't mean to come off mad. She just wanted him to come to her. He said that he typically vents to his siblings when he's having issues. And so that's the way he kind of treated this situation. He wanted some advice. And so he sought out other people to hear about what they had to say. Okay, who cares a fuck? I don't care. Kata, Kenzie, and Jen are talking. And Kata said that she hasn't been on a date. Aw. Yeah, the guy that you think is just so perfect for you doesn't even consider you enough to plan a date within the villa. None of these guys have done that. Like, and that's a red fucking flag. But Jen says she feels fucked in this whole process because she hasn't been able to explore the villa the way that she wants to. She said everybody's booed up and she's not. So, of course, she's in her head about that. She said that she doesn't even want to be friends with Gal. Like, he's a weirdo. She hates men. And, like, she wondering when it's going to be her turn to, you know, get some loving. And I understand where Jen is coming from. Like, that's a real feeling. So I'm not going to give her too much because, yeah, when you see all of this affection and people connecting around you and you feel like you don't have that same experience, that sucks. You start to question yourself and everything else. So I feel for her. Now, Gal and Dylan are talking, and Dylan said that he doesn't care for Jen's negative energy. Shut the fuck up, Dylan. Like, I feel like Dylan got too much to say about stuff that has nothing to do with him, and at the end of the day, nigga, you just got here. Like, shut up. Gal is trying to figure out if Amora likes him or not. She doesn't. She don't give a fuck about you and vice versa. I feel like you're just really trying to do whatever you can to stay in the game. Like, I don't have time. Kata, Anaya, and Jaden are talking, and Jaden fills them in on her issues with Caleb. She said that she can see herself outside of the villa with him because he has traits of somebody that she actually wants. Well, bitch, I can't tell. You're not trying to get to know him. You're not asking him no questions or nothing. Y'all are boring as fuck. Like, I don't care. Caleb gets a text, and it's recoupling time. And it's the boy's choice to pick who he wants to be with. And Jen is annoyed because she's like, I brought Gal into this house, and now my fate is in his hands. Like, I don't like that. So then we see Jen talking to Gal, and it sounds like she's making a subtle plea. Like, she's trying to tell him why she chose him and all of that. I'm like, yeah, this is too much. She's telling him, now you're the one who has the power for me to leave, and that sucks. It's between her and Amora. Why are you saying this to him? And so we see Gal talking to Amora, and Amora was like, baby, it's between me and Jen. Just know that Jen been dogging you, okay? She been telling the girls that she ain't fucking with you and everything else. And so in her confessional, Amora calls Gal her friend. Exactly, because you don't see anything romantic. Like, this is all gameplay that we're seeing. And Jen, I'm really pissed off at you because now it's making you look like you begging for a spot. Like, you don't even fool with this man. So what are you begging to stay for when there's no connection? And then you do all of that only for Amora to blow up your whole spot. Like, girl. Anyway, Ariana enters the villa, and baby, we already know it's recoupling time. So the men are choosing the women, and we just gonna get the obvious out of the way. Didn't I tell y'all that Bryce and Trinity, they're always first because everybody already knows their predictable ass moves. So we know that Bryce chooses Trinity, Zach chooses Kata, Corbin chooses Parmita, and their connection is all about looks. I don't care what nobody say. Like, all he talks about is how good she looks, how good they look together, X, Y, and Z. Dylan chooses Kenzie, duh, and Carl chooses Anaya. I said, boo, like, literally. Boo. And first of all, Carl, why was you saying that Amora caught your attention and then y'all got the second chance to be in the villa and you never explored that? You never explored that. You said that you was going to give Anaya some time, like she's on timeout for not picking you, and you didn't go explore Amora. Confusion. Casey, of course, he chooses Tierra. Sincere chooses Melanie. And of course, he gives this fucking speech about being at home. Shut the fuck up about how you feel at home with her. We don't care. We do not care. Caleb chooses Jaden. Bull, yawn, nobody gives a damn. And Gal chooses Amora. The fact that Gal had the choice to choose between two women was really pissing me the fuck off. Like, how this D-list character gets to choose between two girls? Like, I was just baffled. Like, how did this happen? How did this happen? Because y'all gonna make it seem like he got something going on, or he didn't go around the villa, and he's not. Nobody really likes him for real. Maybe Kenzie, maybe Jen, but in the grand scheme, nobody likes this man. Like, what? Who the hell is he feeling like? I was salty about that. So Jen ends up getting dumped because Gal did not choose her, and I said, oh girl, okay. So then Ariana pulls a plot twist. Look, I'm moving the camera and stuff, y'all. Ariana tells them that they have two couples that are also leaving with Jen. So we got to sit here and watch Jen pack her bags. And then they got to go back around the fire pit. I said, what sense does this make? Well, no. Actually, I understand because this was like essentially a game that they were playing to eliminate people. But I'm like, y'all could have had Jen waiting on the sidelines. We have to see her pack her bags and then get back to it. Like, I just felt like that was too much for us to watch. But as Jen was leaving, Kenzie pulls her to the side and was like, I'm glad that we met. We're Villa besties. Jen, hey, Remember what you said outside of the villa, you wouldn't be friends with Kenzie. I'm gonna need you to keep that same energy because she is a snake. Okay, you can't trust her. So keep that same, when you get back to the States, block that hoe. Anyway, so then we get into this couple dumping game where the couples have to deliberate together and decide which two couples are the least compatible. And so they play this game, and Ariana has to remind you, this isn't about friendship. So don't bring that friendship island shit into this because this is not what's happening. And so the couples deliberate, and really we can skim over some of this, but the main things that I want to clock is Anaya and Carl, they felt like it was too early for them to be running out of things to talk about. I said, absolutely, yeah. Like, damn, y'all should be exploring each other heavy, but y'all not doing that. I also wanted to talk about Zach and Kata, and they're wondering if Corbin and Parmita's relationship is just sexual. Kata also said that Casey moved so fast, and he's wondering if he'll do the same to Tierra. How? There's nobody else coming into this motherfucking villa. Kata, shut up. Anyway, Melanie and Sincere, they deliberate, and Melanie thinks that Kenzia's plan is safe when it comes down to Dylan. She feels like she settled for him because of all the backlash that she got from movie night. Clock it, Mel. Clock it. That was like the thing that I really was like, yes, pay attention, because I said the same thing. Kenzie did not want to be over there with Dylan. She was definitely settling. So we see each other, Melanie. Kenzie brings up how Jaden wants a manly man, and basically Caleb isn't that. And she also brings up how she thinks that Corbin and Parmita are shit. I said, you still got some heat for them. You got some pressure behind what they got going on. But Parmita feels like Melanie and Sincere are not compatible because they always going through shit. It's a lot of toxicity going on over there. And Parmita is like, Melanie deserves way better than what that man is giving her. I agree. And so Corbin wants Kenzie out because she a hoe. He said she kissing all up on everybody. Don't forget, she got fingered by 2 people, you included. But I said, yeah, I'm not mad at Parmita for analyzing compatibility versus like what a person has done. So then the game starts where the couples start to name who they feel isn't compatible. Obviously, the most popular is Gal and Amora, and they actually got the most hearts or broken hearts out of everybody because they are a new couple. And so they end up getting dumped from the island. I said, exactly, Amora, you thought that you was about to pull out that draw 4 and it got an Uno reverse on your ass and you out of here, bitch. Now you're dumped, okay? And Gal, you thought that you was doing something with choosing 2 girls and you thought that the power was in your hands. Well, bitch, come to find out, you and Jen gonna be on the same motherfucking flight back to the States. I love it. So there were some reasonings that I wanted to talk about when it came down to the couples choosing who they decided to deem least incompatible. And so Kenzie and Dylan, they chose Corbin and Parmita. Of course, I'm feeling like that's definitely some type of get back, but Kenzie feels like they're lustful. And again, I agree with that. Coming from Kenzie is very rich, but I'm not going to hold you. I've been saying that they're no different from Corbin and Kenzie's relationship. And so Corbin feels like, yeah, you're doing this out of spite. And Kenzie was like, no, all that y'all talk about is how y'all look. Like, the other guys talk about what they like about the girls, whereas Corbin talks about himself and the relationship seems lustful. Ding, ding, ding. I agree. Even though Parmita doesn't agree. She was like, you might not see it, but we definitely talk about other things. Like, we can't help that we look good. I'm like, girl. Now, y'all look good, but I really feel like that's where it starts and stops. So, when it came down to Parmita and Corbin, they chose Sincere and Melody. I said, okay, let's get into it. Now, Corbin says it's not like he's feeling like they're not compatible, but there was some lies going on. And he said, I cherish respect from people that I trust, and trust was broken on movie night. Now, I don't know how the hell he turned this into a personal situation from him, but it kind of seemed like he's doing this like, oh yeah, Sincere isn't a good man, so I can't get down with that. But you were not being honest when it came down to you and Kenzie. Like, you was faking it the whole time. So, I'm like, I don't know. This gave a little, you putting on for the cameras. Like, this was performative as fuck to me. Because, like, okay, if I see you still fucking around with Sincere, then I definitely know that you was playing it up for the cameras. Boy, bye. And so, Sincere's like, you know what? That's a fair point. You know, he feels shameful for his mistakes in the past, and he's learning from them. Nigga, this was just yesterday. Like, what are you talking about? Like, stop. And Parmita was like, yeah, y'all's relationship is not healthy. It's toxic as fuck. And Mel was like, I appreciate that. Like, you're saying that out of care. And that's something that a good friend would tell me. Oh, so I'm going to need you to clock what Trinity and Anaya got going on. They're giving you badass advice. Like, your house besties are condoning you being brokenhearted over and over again. Oh, okay. So Melanie and Sincere, they choose Dylan and Kenzie. And again, Melanie said that after this whole situation with movie night, Kenzie, you definitely are settling on him. Like, you weren't done exploring. Yes, thank you. And Kenzie said that she never would have thought to put Melanie's name out there. So, of course, she's feeling some type of way because they're close. Y'all are not close as y'all used to be. Y'all are not. Again, since Corbin and Melanie were coupled up, you switched up and you start acting funny towards her. So all that house bestie shit is thrown out the window. So Melanie was telling her, yeah, had you not been criticized for movie night, you definitely would have continued to explore. Yes, she would have. And I'm glad that Melanie did that because Kenzie been talking shit behind your back. So yeah, good. So Casey and Tierra also chose Kenzie and Dylan to be least compatible. And Kenzie seemed to understand Casey's reasoning. But I'm like, oh, you can understand Casey's reasoning, but you couldn't understand Melanie's? Oh, okay, yeah, fake. So at the end of the day, majority ruled for Amora and Gal, which we already knew. But I was like, had it been up to me, after Amora and Gal got majority votes, I would have been like, pick somebody else. Like, we not choosing them no more. They already out. Let's throw a monkey wrench in this bitch. Let's switch it up. But again, I thought it was funny that Amora threw Jen under the bus only for her to get dumped 30 minutes after. Like, bye, boo. And Gal thought he was a big man on campus and got reminded very quickly that you're not. So that was the end of the episode. Personally, I thought the episode was very mid, very blah. Like, I don't know what this new episode is going to give, but I seen on the app notification that somebody is going to get dumped. So we'll see that in a minute. But I will upload this and then I'm about to get ready to gear up to take notes for last night's episode. But do not forget to like, comment, subscribe to my channel. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.